Welcome, cosmic travelers, to the Quantum Shift, where each week we leave the ordinary behind and step into a world of extraordinary possibilities. Imagine our reality being portaled into the realm of 5D wonderment, magic, and heartfelt living. This isn't just a wild concept. It's our new journey with the archangels and the world they built for the crystal DNA hue. Joining us on this adventure is our guide, George, who is our personal galactic guide from the 13th dimension. His profound insights never stop challenging and expanding minds. Our perceptions are easing their way into the zero-point timeline of a new quantum reality and newly awakened expressions of wisdom and mastery. Every episode promises to leap into the unknown, sparking vibrant discussions that illuminate our minds and transform our souls. We are putting on the parachute and getting ready to jump into the unknown. Let's pull the ripcord together and leap into a new realm of spiritual awakening. Brace for the stars as the Quantum Shift merges with an in-depth journey with your cosmic navigators. Introducing your host of the Quantum Shift, Dr. Sam Mugzzi and Digital Tom.
Welcome to the Quantum Shift. Thanks for joining us today for another episode of Spiritual Lightworkers. This is part 2 titled Parallel Timelines, and Dr. Mugzzi and George have an exciting show lined up for you guys today. So without further ado, let's dive right in. Hi Mugzzi, how's it going?
Hi, I'm doing fantastic. I have so much information to get out to everybody. I've been holding back, and now it's like the dam has broken. So George is really excited as well to get information to those that want to receive it. If you don't listen. If you only want a part of it, then only take a part of it. It's up to everybody to develop themselves the way that they want to be developed. So have at it, have fun, and remember, it's all presented with love intentions. Okay, you guys? So parallel timelines is really important because at this crucial moment, we see multiple timelines being played out by their behaviors, their beliefs, their actions, their temperament, their beliefs, and their choices that they're creating. So one of the questions that I get asked a lot is, well, am I going to be affected by other people, my kids, my husband, whoever, coworkers, by what they're deciding to do? And so I want to cover that on this show and what actually happens during the parallel convergence, but it's a separation. So if you go back to Dolores Cannon and you think about the worlds, the two worlds splitting, and instead of thinking that as our planet and think of it as you, then you'll understand what she was really talking about. So let's recap for a moment. There are approximately 5 timelines, and I'm going to say 5 degrees to that timeline. Okay, 5. Because each and every one of us will experience a timeline a little bit different. Even if we're on the same timeline, it will be at different degrees. So let's just say there's 5 degrees. So, or densities is what they're known as. So the timeline of evil is really separating from this planet. If you notice that the white hats, the white knights, Q, whoever you want to think of, is actually flushing out all these bottom dwellers that have been living in underground, and they're now coming to the surface, which I think has a lot to do with Haiti and the invasion, or these people coming in from other countries, has to do more importantly with what's coming up from underground. And the Galactics want them up. And from that point, then our military can take care of the situation because they see them. And from what I've been told, it's shoot, they already have committed these sins. They've already been to some type of galactic court and they're deemed guilty, so just shoot. And some of them are shapeshifters, some of them are black-eyed soulless demons. So you have to be very, very careful when you're still moving around this matrix, because evil is still present and the darker dwellers that we didn't know about are now making themselves known. Okay. So the second timeline is the sheep. Those are people that just blindly move through life without thinking, and they're more of the NPCs, the non participating characters in our movie. The third is the clique, and these are the people that always have to follow the popular trends and be the wannabes or the Joneses. So you can see them playing out, and they're very much struggling because as the old world is coming down, they don't really know who to follow. And if they don't know who to follow, then they don't know how to act. They don't know what to wear. They don't know how to wear their hair. It's the craziest thing. But you're starting to see them have culture shock from the removal of their heroes, whoever that might be. Number four is the truthers. So there's a lot of people that are patriots that are in this movement who are just into it for the truth. They want to know, they want to get to the bottom of it. They want to know what really happened. They're the ones that are going to all the conventions and they're being associated with so and so. I think it's really kind of interesting how the Galactics, the White Knights, SpaceX, whoever put this all together actually knew that all these different dichotomies would present itself during the awakening. I just find this amazing that somebody thought of this, planned for it, and had a stream for those people to follow so that they wouldn't get bored or feel left out in this 3D movie of Ascension. So then the fifth, of course, is our spiritual light workers. They're the ones that have done all the others. And now we're learning how to use energy and frequency and how to get our magic back, or our mojo, or our force, if you will. That's our ability to manipulate the energies around us. We're thinking more of on a quantum level than the 2D, 3D thinking concepts. So, Tom, do you want to add anything?
No, thank you. Continue, please. This is great.
Each timeline now is coexisting. We can see them all. And I really would like to urge for all of you to take a moment and think about what is happening here. Who are these people? What destiny are they following? What are they getting from contributing to that timeline? What benefits are they learning? And then appreciate what you learned from that particular timeline. This is a really good time to have reflection and appreciation, and it should build your self-esteem and your self-worth, knowing that you've already gone through that, you achieved those goals, and now here you sit today as a better, wiser spiritual person. And that was the ultimate goal of the 3D experience. So, in the 3D, what we have learned, and just from my point of view, you guys are probably going to be able to add some more or a limit. That's okay. You guys make this the way you need it. But I saw a lot of suffering, lack, ignorance, uh, other people, other institutions controlling every decision that they made, even the relationship. They didn't have say so in their own life. They were held emotionally hostage. They were emotionally tied to decisions that they didn't want to make. They were gripped in, sold to, and frauded by using the emotions. And Obama wrote a book about this, that using the emotions actually is something that's not used enough because it's so easy to grip people in by their emotions. And he's right. He's absolutely right. So, and there's also a need to be perfect, that we're afraid to make a mistake. So we're afraid to try anything new. And that's going to really stunt your growth as a spiritual being. Also, falling for the trap of materialism. And what I found very interesting about materialism is that look at where you spend your money. Wherever you're spending your money is a telltale sign of the matrix that you're involved in or the timeline that you're involved in. That's what's important to you. I see it all the time. I see people that would rather have new sheets than worry about their health or worry about getting new clothes or a new car. They need to save for this new house, but they're not concerned about their health. They will research their latest NFL star. They will know every little tidbit information about that quarterback, but they don't know about their own body. And if you don't know your body and you're not healthy, you're not going to be here to enjoy those shoes, that clothes, those cars, the house. You're gone. I have seen so many people over the years that would rather spend their money. They would spend more money on coffee than they would on their health. And to me, that was the most confusing thing of all, because if you aren't here, how are you going to enjoy any of that? Your money is your ability to create the persona that you want for a spiritual presence. There are a lot of people that Hollywood, NFL, that have used money to make it look like they achieved greatness by using the ether, but they didn't. They faked you out. Because the goal here, remember, the end goal of everything has to do with your ability to manipulate energy, to have a magic wand or your mojo, and to be able to give to the universe and pull from the universe what you want and need. The Merlin inside of you. That is why we're here. And if you don't have that, then you didn't succeed and you have to go back and do it again. And in order to get there, you have to establish your golden stars. So there's also in 3D, you see a lot of the group mentality, that you have to be in a hierarchy, you have to be part of this club, this group, because that becomes your identity. And if you read any of the old ancient artifacts, Magdalene, the Gospel of Thomas, anybody that has, even in Hinduism, you'll see where it's carved in the temples, where what is the most important is this star within you, which is your spiritual essence, that crystalline essence of you, your thoughts, your beliefs, your mannerisms, the way that you approach relationships, or even how you approach challenges in your life. Are you coming to it half cocked, or are you coming at it with all three of your stars in position and your I am is centered? That will dictate whether or not you ascend or descend. Okay, East Gate, West Gate. So now, Tom, do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I think that when I'm listening to you speak about this, what to me stands out is a lot of people have a really low self-worth or self-esteem. And I think the Galactics, George especially, is wanting people to realize that you are somebody, you are special. Take another look in the mirror at yourself and give yourself a pat on the back and realize that you've come a long way up to this point. We still have a long way, we still have further to go, but that low self-esteem, a lot of people have really been beat down. And so I just want to encourage them to stand up and realize that you are the divine creation, the spark. You've got the same DNA strand that God gave you, and you're important. So, anyway, I just wanted to say that.
Well, it's more than what God gave you, it's what you created with it. It's all about using that energy and what you're creating. It's not just creating a garden, it's not just building a house, it's not just a relationship. It's you. It's what you're waving your magic wand over you to create. And that's where the dark night of the soul comes in.
I guess what I would say also, I want to add is you had mentioned this. You're the sum total of all of your lifetimes, all of those lesson plans in this incarnation. And so that is a big deal.
That is a big deal. And when we incarnate into a physical body, we are bringing our past knowledge with us. That's why some are more advanced than others, is because it's something, it's Groundhog Day. You just keep going and going, but you keep your memories and you keep your essence as you go. You even keep fundamental basics of how you look through every single life. And it's funny because when I first met George, he knew who I was from when I was a child on up. They'd viewed every part of my life and how I made decisions. But he even went back in my history and checked my soul history and who my soul family is and how they act and what did they do and how did they handle challenges. Were they warriors or were they just sheep? So that had a lot to do with his decision on whether or not to engage and be part of my reality. But because he was able to do that, he knows without a shadow of a doubt how I'm going to respond to every situation that comes up before me. He knows where I stand because it's literally written in my blood. And this is why you don't want to share your blood with anybody, because your blood is like the data wealth fountain of everything about you. And it goes beyond just this lifetime, it goes on to many lifetimes that they can tap into. So when you have somebody that's a parasite, a tick that wants to drink your blood, it's that they're not just drinking a plasma, they're drinking your soul essence, your soul knowledge, your soul connections of where you come. It's a whole world that opens up to them. And that's why these demons can't have it. You need to shut that off. And anybody that's willy-nilly giving their blood away really shows the ignorance behind those actions, because the Galactics, you touch their blood and or try to, and you'll find yourself laying out flat. They do not tolerate it at all. So the self night or the dark night of the soul, this was a really hard time, I think, for everybody. Is that you wake up one day and you realize and you look at who you are and where you need to go. It's almost like your own storyboard that you're reviewing, that when you cross over and die and you watch your storyboard, it's the same thing that happens in the physical. So at that point, it's a significant ceremony of death that we are reviewing our life and who we were. And now we're getting insight to who we want to become, because the ultimate goal for anybody is to become self-governing, self-regulated, self-driven, sovereign, and free. We want to have the autonomy to become the spiritual person that we want to become, and we want to have confidence doing that. And so that's where we're at now. That's what we're doing. We're getting our wings underneath us and we're getting ready to fly. And it's going to be tremendous when we do it. I think a lot of people aren't going to know, like, can I do it? Heck yeah, you can do it. And I'm going to show you how through these series. George is going to walk us through. And remember, there's 5 degrees to this. So pick any color that you want. And if you want to wear a pink tutu when you jump off, that's fine. I don't care. Do it. Or if you want to wear your favorite bamboo shirt, okay. Or maybe you want to wear a hemp jacket. You like hemp. Okay. Do it. I think I'm going to wear a cape just because it would be fun. Anyway, we're all going to jump off that cliff here pretty soon and start flying in our new reality. And it's already starting. And I know it's really hard, depressing, frustrating, tearful to look at maybe who we were, but brush it off, make notes, and then start to curb yourself into that new person that you want to become, that spiritual, pristine 5D being. Okay? Give yourself permission. So you're creating an outline for the perfect soul personality. Go within, be brave, and be honest. And what I did, and a lot of people do this, they talk about, you can write it down in a notebook and keep it underneath like your mattress where nobody can find it. And when you get an idea or you see somebody that you like the way that they carry themselves, or you like the way that they handled a situation, write it in your book, because that's what you're going to become. And another thing, get magazines, cut out pictures, and create your storyboard of what you want in your 5D reality. This is great for the family to do, especially if you have older kids. Hey, kids, come on, let's get around the dinner table and let's all go have some fun. Let's talk. This would be awesome for a family to do. So I encourage everybody to do it. Have fun. Create some s'mores or something, hot chocolate. Okay, I wanted to go over what it takes to develop that person within. Okay, so let's talk briefly again about the golden star. And this is to judge yourself. So get your notebook out and write this down and then reflect on you. Nobody's going to see it but you. Nobody cares but you. It's all about you and building you. So, first of all, career. Here's some rules to think about. Are you following your love quest? Are you doing what you absolutely love to do? Do you know how to instinctively do these things and it comes easy for you? That is a telltale sign you're on the right path. Does time kind of whiz by when you're doing this? Then you know you're on the right path. Are you creative? Does it make your heart sing? Do you work for yourself? If not, start taking business classes to empower yourself to have your own company, to work from home and do what you need from home. We're all moving out of the cities and we're all going to be getting our 5-acre lots to create our own habitats. That's what George has been telling Tom and I now for about 9 months. Habitat, habitat, habitat. Creating these habitats is not only good for you, but it's for your surroundings. It's for the bees, the birds, and the wildlife around you. If you are cooking, make sure you're saving your seeds. And if you can't grow, 50 of those bell pepper seeds, well, you might want to grow 10 of them. And then the rest, take them out into the forest and put them somewhere and let them just grow so that we have an abundance of food. Remember, what you create for you and other people, other beings, other animals is how you feed the energy to be able to pull down from the ethers. It's like a checking account, okay? Whatever you put in is what you get to draw out. So if I'm going to be planting, say, 5 plants for me, I'm going to be planting 20 plants for the animals. And it's not a bad idea to make plant bombs, which is these dirt balls with a seed in it, and then take the kids out and go and spread these vegetable bombs everywhere so that next spring we just have plants growing everywhere, organic, healthy. You eat it, the bugs eat it, the birds eat it, and the bears eat it. We don't care. We want an abundance across this planet. And the more that we grow, the more that we're going to feed the soil, and then the healthier our crops are going to be. And that's how you start a positive feedback loop for our habitats. Okay. The next thing is family. This is really important because the concept is this: if we're reincarnating and we keep coming back, right? Whatever you're doing now with your kids, when you come back, maybe as a grandkid or a great grandkid in that bloodline, you're creating something healthy for the future you. That's why so many people will, if you go back in time, look, they leave stories for the consciousness of that person so that as they reincarnate, they can look at paintings and it will trigger their memories and they'll know who they are. And that's exactly what's happening right now. As we're in this process of a truth movement, a history, truth prevail of what was really happening, we're now sinking in with our memories. We're coming back. Oh, okay, that's what that was. These guys were so tricky because not only did they switch the east gate from the west gate, but they turned the map upside down, and then they moved people off of the continents that they came from, where all your memories are stored. So now that people are going to be migrating back to where their soul essence is, then we're going to be able to download the knowledge from that area. The lakes, the water, that's all memories that you're going to be able to absorb. It's going to be fun, I think. Tom?
I agree 100%.
So when you're talking about the family, here's some ideas. Um, you want the family to be a cohesive unit, but yet each member can have their alone time or their individual space. If I want to be a ballerina dancer and my son wants to be a football player, then I need to nurture what is happening with that kid. If one of the kids likes astronomy, get him a telescope. Let's get out the book. Let's talk about stars. As a mom and a dad, it's our responsibility to pay attention to the personality of our child. They come through us. They're not us. They're not from us. They come through us to have a physical body. So that little person, what do they do? Do they like music? Well, then let's get them a musical instrument. Hey, let's start singing them songs. Let's start teaching them what to do. Then we can expedite our educational level, our intelligence, our wisdom exponentially And then when you recycle and come back, you're going to come back in a smarter family, which means you're going to be smarter. So whatever you give now is what you receive later. Okay. This is what most of the 3Ders don't understand. And they're stuck in that selfish me mentality, is that they're really cutting off their own arm, because when they come back, that family unit is dysfunctional because of what they created. That's what they're going to end up experiencing. It's pretty fun. So, the way that this whole thing is set up is very interesting. Does each person have their own special time? Are you giving homage to that child in your family? And that the fact that, oh, hey, it's little Billy's day, and wow, he likes birds. Let's go to the bird zoo. Or, hey, Charlie, what do you want to do today? Oh, you want to go hiking? Okay, today's Charlie's day. And it brings out the personality within that kid in a structured, loving environment. Okay. You have to continually nurture that soul within, because that soul is old. You don't know where they've been, what they know. And it's up to us to nurture them and protect them when they're little, because they can't defend themselves from predators when they're 5 years old or when they're 6 months old. It is our duty as spiritual beings to do everything that we can and lay our lives down to protect that child. And if we're not doing that, then we fail as a spiritual being, period. If you cannot protect the children, there is something seriously wrong with you and your consciousness. You need to go back to 3D. Number 3, spiritual growth. Now, there's a lot here. Are you always relearning? Are you learning new ways to enlighten yourself? Are you giving yourself permission to enhance your mind, your soul, and whatever you're thirsty for? Sometimes I'll see something on TV and I'll go, oh my gosh, I got to know more about Merlin, or I need to know more about crystals. And I'll sit down and start learning about it because I have a thirst at that point in time to learn more about a certain product or a certain ideology. And I'll go with it. I'll just start learning it. And I buy all kinds of books. Right, Tom?
That is correct. You do.
Okay. So as you're going through this process, are you creating a peaceful harmony in your environment? Are you plugged into the matrix and doing what they say? Or are you taking time out to see where your individualism comes in and nurturing that individual difference within yourself? Do you have friends that support your individualism, your relationships that support your spiritual growth? Do you eat to fulfill your powers, your spiritual powers? Because your cells require certain nutrients to empower the spark of your power. What is that? It's spinach and kale to begin with. And I find it very ironic that some institutions, when you go in because your tummy hurts or something, they specifically say, do not eat spinach and kale. And when they do that, I'm telling you right now, they're attacking your soul. So you need to be aware. You need to always be thinking about your environment, the people that are around. Are you protecting your frequency, or are you allowing it to be sucked out by others? Are you protecting against EMF? Because we wear bracelets and stuff to make sure that our body, physical self, is protected. Also, what kind of laundry soap do you use? What kind of clothes do you wear? This all affects your frequency and your ability to use your powers. You want to be looking at always improving your mind, finding good teachers. Don't be following what everybody else is following. Follow what your gut wants. Follow what you love. Follow what is attractive to you, not everybody else. It has to be passionate within. It's kind of like love at first sight type of a thing. That's what you want to follow. That's where you should go. Okay. So a good teacher is going to teach you to have your own mind, is going to prompt you up to find the free stuff within. Okay. They're not going to be selling you a product that says, if you buy this wobbly lobbly gook, you are going to be more spiritual. Okay, watch for the salesman techniques. You want to get away from that. You want to really focus on the spiritual essence of yourself. And do you live in a fast city or a slow community? The more that you calm things down, the more that you can communicate with your higher self, the more that you're going to get in rhythm with your destiny path and why you're here. It's more important for you to follow you than anybody else. What I do here at home, it's not going to resonate with you unless you like wind chimes, you like bells, you like it quiet, you want to watch happy, productive shows that give you a future, you want to take classes that empower you as a being, and that you always are feeling smarter about what you're doing and who you're communicating with. I think there's nothing more frustrated in this whole process than when you go to the store and you're communicating with somebody that you know, and they know nothing that you're talking about other than maybe the quality of the bag from the grocery store, or whether or not you have to pay for your bag. And that's pretty much where the conversation ends. Nothing else connects anymore. You want anything?
Yes, I also want people to realize too that Muggsy and I are experiencing this a lot. It seems like we have to play, I don't know if you'd call it dodgeball, but we're constantly dodging the toxins and the poisons in the grocery stores. We completely have stopped eating out because the foods that we make here at the house are so, number one, they taste much better, and we know what's in the foods. And at this point, you just have to really be careful, read the labels, watch what produce you're picking up at the grocery store. You guys really need to know what you're putting in your vessel, super unleaded or whatever. It does make a difference as we're moving through this ascension process. You don't want to be eating bugs and flowers and chips and stuff that you want to snack on if you're on the road. So it's important to understand what you guys are putting in your bodies. That is very crucial, I believe.
He's talking about GMO wheat flour, not flowers that you grow out in the backyard, because the flowers out in the backyard are very beneficial, some of them, and they're very nutritional. So you want to look at those and add those to your cooking somehow. They even have where you can decorate a roast or whatever you're cooking. We do seitan roast, and you could put flowers around it, and it's pretty and it's edible. Okay, so there's a big difference. You also want to use flowers in your tea. So I'm not sure if you understood he meant that type of a flower.
Said I was referring to the flour that, like if you're making breads, the flour, not
Wheat.
flowers.
You're talking about wheat.
Wheat, yes.
Okay, so number 4 is finances. Finances is really big. And there's a motto, follow the money. And we've been doing this with the deep state, but it's also true that we can do it with ourselves. Look at where you're spending your money and it will tell you a lot about yourself. It will tell you which timeline you're on, what degree, what's important to you. Are you getting anything back from that? You really need to look at money as energy and what type of energy you're creating in your life. If God gives you a magic wand, what are you creating? You're creating going out, getting Starbucks, or you're going out and getting a big bag of Skittles, or are you going and getting silver so that you can eat off silver so that you are healing your body as you are dining? That was the whole concept behind silver before, is it's antibacterial, antifungal, antivirus, and it kills protozoas and amoebas, not to mention parasites. And it's a constant stream of always having that colloidal silver in your body every time that you eat and drink. So I just want to mention that, because pretty soon you're not going to be able to get silver. Okay. There's just a little hint. Hello. So when you're looking at your finances has to be viewed as a medium that can support you, give you security, and give you empowerment to create the reality that you want. It's an exchange of energy. And it really infuriates me when people go, well, can't you just do it for free? No, because that's not working with universal energies. There's a give and a take, right? In our universe. And eventually it won't be just the fundamental basic dollars. It will move into other exchanges later, but we need to get in a habit of exchange. And if I have put in a lot of time for my education, then there should be an equal amount of monetary exchange that comes with it. And it should be okay with that. You shouldn't pay a mechanic more money than you're willing to pay for a high quality quantum doctor. Okay. It's just apples and oranges here. You have to have somebody that understands energy to heal your light body. So when you are looking at balance in your body, it's not meant to cover up with disguises. It's not meant to bribe people or to get people to think that you are a spiritual light worker because you have money, but and is used as a tool of manipulation. When you do that, I'm telling you right now that there will be a cause and effect to manipulating, because what you give is what you're going to receive. And if you don't value people's time and what they require for an exchange of service, then you get that back, that treatment. It's boomerang back. And I'll tell you why in a minute. Number 5, quality of health. If you don't have your health, you don't have nothing. And when you are healthy, it's a sign that you're in alignment with your destiny, that you're in alignment with your soul's progression. When you have this ease, it shows not only that you are out of alignment, but you're not following your true path. And what happens when you're not following your true path is that psychologically, the inner voice in your mind starts to deteriorate because you're not following what you're supposed to be doing. And your subconscious mind knows about this. And the body will start to deteriorate and have weaknesses. I believe that the deep state knows this. And that's why they hit us with so many poisons, because if you're not in alignment with your path, then it's easy to make you really sick and you won't be able to heal. They know that because of the type of personality you are, that you're either going to self heal yourself with better foods and whatever you're doing, or you're going to be going to somebody else and giving them the keys to your physical car. And then you got to deal with whatever they give you. The more that you're out of alignment with your destiny path, the faster you're going to be checking out, basically. The more that you're in alignment with who you're supposed to be, the more that you're working on your health and creating at ease within your environment, your clothes, your byproducts that you have for hygiene or whatever. It all relates to your soul and the strength of the soul within the physical. Tommy, you want to add anything?
I'm good. Continue, please.
Okay, so when you're creating the crystal star is really important because you're actually creating the violet flame within your pituitary gland. It's why the Hindus put a little dot at their third eye area, because that's where the flame is. And they put colors there to enhance their third eye, but also to protect their third eye. And that's something that we don't do at all. When you are looking at igniting that violet flame, what happens is that when you have the right emotions, when you have the right path in life, when you're eating correctly, when you're moving your life in a positive way, is that the silver fluid in your spine will go through the bottom chakra and then turn to gold, move up into the pituitary gland where it becomes the manger, and you seat this white crystal. It's like a crystal ball, really, that you put in the manger. And when that happens, it ignites this flame, which is like a violet flame, which is actually a hue or a color of consciousness that you've achieved. And when that happens, now everything is affected within your Merkaba above you, and your abilities to communicate to the ethers. How much you have achieved will dictate how much of the ether energy you can download and utilize for creating your reality that you want to create. That's the big secret. The more in alignment you are, the more power that you're given by using the ether energy or the chi. Okay. You want to be in alignment, because the more chi that you develop, the better your reality will be, the faster you're going to be able to create what you want to create, and the more protection you're going to be able to put around yourself. Okay. The more communication you're going to be able to have with people on the other side of the veil in other dimensions. You're going to be able to talk to them and see them and correspond with them like they're there. I'm going to take a quick minute and tell you a little story that I didn't get to spend a lot of time with my grandma. I always told her, when I get out of college, I will come and spend time with you and we can cook. And she's my Italian grandma. And she would say, okay, I'll be here. I'll be here. Well, of course, the way that things worked, she didn't make it because doctors put her on a bunch of medication, and within a year she was gone. But now that I can hone in on her, she cooks with me at night. And so I tell Tom, leave us alone. I'm with grandma, and she's teaching me how to cook dishes that are Italian dishes that I knew nothing about. I don't know how to cook. And she's teaching me the old world ways. And there's no way I would know this stuff. And then it would be later that I might tune into something on YouTube about a cooking show. And it's an old Italian lady showing how she did something. And she's doing exactly like what my grandma was doing. So it's just a constant reminder that The more that you elevate yourself, the more that you're going to be able to communicate with people that are through the cross. You don't want to be the hangman on the cross, right? Because that means that you recycle and go out the west gate and you're going to be out of here back to 3D. You want your cross that you go through the opening of Ascension. So there should be a heart on it, not a dead man. And you want to go through your cross so you can get through the veil so you can communicate with people on the other side. That's how it's done. The more in alignment that you get with this higher frequency, the more that you're going to be able to communicate with your loved ones. All right. Any questions, Tom?
I can't wait. That's exciting to look forward to, for I'm sure for a lot of people, because we've lost, like people have lost their kids or their mother or their dad or their cousins or whoever, best friends. So this is exciting.
It is exciting. So when you get the violet flame torch lit, I think that's part of, the Lucifer holding the torch and the Statue of Liberty is really about you torching your own violet ray flame within your pituitary gland. But when you do this, now all of a sudden you're going to be free from other people's control. You're not going to be manipulated like you were before because you're more grounded in your I am. You begin to create what they call in the Bible as milk and honey. It's where your thoughts are more pure, beneficial, and it's going to be enhancing who you are as a spiritual being. You're going to be uniting that I am Christ within yourself. And it's going to give you abilities. This is your powers, right? This is your 12 strand DNA getting activated. And this is when your powers are going to return because now you know how to pull the energy from the ethers and be able to use it in your reality. But it's an ebb and flow. You have to put it back. You have to be able to give others what you want to seek. You give them what they want, then you get what you want. So there are people that are out there right now that are doing things like putting hundreds of dollars into a portfolio or something, and they go to a restaurant, and when they meet the right person with the right mind that is service to others and is kind and respectful, the right person, fifth kind, then they reward them with the money that they have in the folder or within the wallet or whatever you want to say, which I think is a beautiful thing. It's a win-win on both sides, right? So the other part is merging the right hemisphere with the left hemisphere of your brain. The left being the organized, color, anal retentive side of you, but you also have to use the right side, which is the side of creativity or spirituality. They need to merge. Why not use your whole brain? Why would you just use half? I don't get that. Sometimes when you're in creativity mode, you just go to crazy. But then when you have to go to left brain, stop. It's literally you have to change your thinking and go, all right, I'm going to be organized now and switch the functioning side of your brain to the left side. So you need to purify your heart chakra. You can't be carrying around a bunch of guilt. You can't be carrying around a lot of heavy things in your heart. You certainly can't be eating foods that are going to be stressing your heart or your kidneys, because your kidneys affect your heart. Your heart is your vibration, it is the battery behind your magic wand. So if your heart is filled with guilt or it's filled with remorse or you feel dejected, your heart isn't going to be able to put the umph into your mojo. You're gonna have this little fizzle and you're not going to be able to create the reality that you want. So the heart chakra is really important. And in order to have a nice heart, you have to have really good kidneys. Okay, that means you need to eat foods that are not poisoning the kidneys, and you need to be eating foods that strengthen the kidneys. Now, I know some of you are saying, well, Sam, what is that? Go look it up. Go look it up. There is a thing called what, Tom?
Yeah, you can go to Perplexity, and it's like Chat GPT, but what's unique about Perplexity is it gives you links to what you're asking.
Okay, so the next is the Druid star. Remember, you have 3 stars that you're responsible for. So you have the golden star, how you handle life and how it's all balanced. Then you have your crystal star, which is your ability to use your energies within your physical to manifest the etheric reality. The next thing is your Druid star. The Druid star is fascinating because I call it the power star or the frequency star because it has colors in it. So it's a frequency, but when you put it together, it becomes a powerhouse. So this is really what is going to be like your turbojet behind what I'm calling your wand of creating your reality. So here's what it says about the Druid star. The Druid star goes way back to the time of Christ, Emmanuel, who perfected this. There are people, other people that were from Ireland and Scotland that picked this up. Also France. Okay, so Christ went to France too, and it was said that him and Mary Magdalene had a cave that overlooked this beautiful ocean view, and that he lived there. That was his house, was off this cave, and they had I believe, don't quote me, but they had 4 boys from what I know. It could be more, it could be less, I don't know. And these 4 children then went out to the world. There could have been 7 because there's something with 7 sons from the 7th sun, something like that, that's from the Pleiades, from the 7th star. So I don't know. We're still learning about all this. But from that area, they have always known about the Druid star and creating this powerhouse of energy that is connected to the cosmos. So stop, go learn about this and see how you can use it for yourself. It is a magical force. And when people say magic, it's because it doesn't make sense to them. It's actually quantum physics, it's the matrix and the way that it was set up. Okay. It's nothing more than magnetics, photons, electrons, and microns, and other things, of course, atoms and cells, but it appears as magic because people don't really understand how quantum physics works. But it helps you to focus in on how to heal and balance the I am. So here it is in a nutshell, but please go look this up. It's very interesting. It's the mystical abilities of working with the ethers. Okay. The ethers is where your power is stored. You got to go to that bank and make your withdrawal. So you have to know how to do that. And the Druid star can help you do this. This is the connection to the old ways that was presented by the Pleiadians way back when. It's always been here. This is what the Pleiadians were teaching people so that they could ascend, so that they could learn how to work with magic or how to work with energy and manipulating the cosmos. Learning how to guide, teach, and protect yourself. This is something that most people miss. Hello, do you not know that you're supposed to protect yourself? Do you not know that a major requirement for living in this reality, you have to know not only how to teach yourself, but how to protect yourself? How can you leave the house without even protecting yourself or knowing who the evil is? You could be staring. I've seen so many people stare in the face of a demon and they don't even know it. They're just like, oh, he has a white coat on and a stethoscope and he's fine. He gives me a hug. I have a special disease that nobody has. I'm 1 out of 200. That's it. I'm so special. Okay. Anyway, learning how to guide and teach, protect yourself. Learning personality types is very important so that you know how to have a conversation with that type of personality. If they're a bullhead strong tank, how do you deal with that? If they're a pushover, how do you deal with that? There are different types of people and they respond differently. And it's your job to learn how to communicate with those people. You need to elevate your ideas of what a star seed is and how we're all different. We come from different planets. We have different personality traits. There's things that we like and things that we don't like. And this goes in, this will bleed in to when you're working with an ET mentor. Because if you're working with an Arcturian, and you're going to be haphazard and do some sloppy stuff, they're going to get pissed off at you. They will not let you be rude or disrespectful in any way. Okay. If you are not in alignment with their teachings, then you're going to offend them. And that is true for anybody. We are now merging with the galactic communities. So if you want to be involved in different galactics environments, then you have to know what the rules are. And you can't play stupid because they read your mind. They know, they can tell by your energy. You waved off in waves, right? Because it's full of photons, electrons, and molecules in this wave all around us. And when you think something, it waves. It goes like the ocean in a wave, and that thought will permeate my skin, my aura, my essence, and I'll know exactly what you're thinking. I can see it with pictures. I can see the wheels in your head moving. So I know what you're thinking and I can feel the emotions that's behind that. And I am not that good at it. Okay. The ETs, they got this down. So you can't fool anybody. Everything is transparent. Everything is going to be truthful and everything is going to be of the highest vibration, or you're not going to have any help from the galactics. That's it. They will not deal with you. You will be stamped a monkey and you will go to the back of the bus. That's it. You haven't learned. Sorry. Okay, so the next thing, number 4, is learning personality types, evaluating each person's mustard, and knowing to fight or knowing when to flight, knowing when to give a hug, knowing when you should be disciplining somebody or setting up your boundaries. Most people don't even know how to spell boundaries, let alone put boundaries up. They don't realize that in order to have healthy relationships and to draw to you somebody that has a higher vibration, you have to have your own boundaries. If you don't have boundaries, then nobody's going to trust you because you're going to make mistakes because you don't know, because you don't protect yourself. So you're going to victimize them because you're stupid. So, nope, you're a monkey and you go to the back of the bus. Learn boundaries. The other thing is using lawsuits is wrong because when you're in your I am, the crystal I am, when you are utilizing the Druid star, you don't need to have attorneys, because there's already a determination, and both parties know who's right and who's not. There's no, it's whether or not I can steal what you have. So let's go to a judge, and I know the judge, and so he'll give me in my favor, and I just screwed you. Haha, I got something over on you. It's not like that. In the fifth realm, you don't do that. What you do is you realize that maybe I overstepped what I was supposed to do, and I listened to your argument about not arguing, but just what your platform is. And I go, you know what? I was wrong. You're absolutely right. Here, take this money and let me give you $100 more just for upsetting you. That's the new world. If somebody has been jilted by somebody else and you have two of something, give it to them. I'm sorry, you shouldn't have experienced that. Here, let me help you. I've got something that I can give you, and let's put it together, and we'll fix this together. That's the new reality. It is no more dog eats dog, that type Darwin. Let's all fight each other and whoever's the strongest wins. That's not it. When we work in a community, we work together as friends. And if somebody is stupid enough to swindle somebody else, then they are excommunicated from the fifth kind. They will be put in their own bubble, and you move forward with somebody that's in integrity. That's the way it's going to work. Okay. You don't have to fight those battles anymore. The universe will do it for you. It's written in the matrix. The seeker will always find power that lies within a connection to the cosmos. When you want it, the friendship, the intelligence, wisdom is always going to be in the cosmos. There are answers. That's the ethers. The other thing, too, is that this is so fun. When you get yourselves right and you no longer deal with 3D personality stuff, you're now wanting to subscribe to the 5D and living this higher evolved life, you can ask for help. And the Palladians are there. They're ready to help. They're on standby. They just won't deal with any bullshit. If you're thinking that you're going to con them, trick them, manipulate them, I got them, no, it doesn't work that way. They will sense your intentions, and you will be labeled a monkey, and you'll be sent to the back of the bus. Nobody's going to deal with you. And I doubt you'll even get a second try for many years. They just will not tolerate any type of stupid behavior at all. So right now we're in a time period where we can get mentors, teachers, we can get guidance on new ways of living. We also have new behaviors that we're going to be taught, new belief systems, new consciousness, new ways of interpreting and evaluating the world around us. And we're going to have, of course, new abilities to manipulate the world to create the reality that we want to live in. Tom, you got anything?
I'm good. Continue, please.
The ancient connections to us, to the stars, is for us to grasp. It's ours for the taking if we want. Anybody that wants to learn and is open to knowledge will always be met with a mentor. Always. It's the ones that say no. It's the ones that say, I got it. I know it. I already got my cup's full. Those people will be stamped a monkey and turned back to the end of the bus. Okay. So look at others around you and contemplate where their consciousness development is, what timeline, what are they experiencing, how is it benefiting them, And then self-reflect. What did I learn when I was going through that? What decisions did I make? Was it the best decision? Could I have done that better? When you do this, you're adding to your I am, like a purse or a wallet, and it's going to make you even a better person. Not to be in judgment, but to be in appreciation for your knowledge, your consciousness that you have developed through going through these hard knocks. Not everyone will see issues or challenges the same way. So that's okay. If you're talking to your friend, what might be a pleasant thing to somebody might be a horrific story to somebody else. So it's a personal approach. When they say to meditate and clear your mind and don't think of anything, I don't think of that. What a waste of time. What a great time to lock yourself in a closet or a quiet place and reflect on where you've been, how you could have done it better, what you'd like to see in your future, and allow that time to manifest your new reality. That makes a lot more sense to me than just sitting there and being mind numb. If you wanted to be mind numb, I mean, you could just get a lobotomy or something. Why not sit there and manifest your new reality? But before you do, make sure that you've perfected it so you don't have to experience something that you don't want to experience. There's always going to be a transparent etheric wall between you and somebody else. So in the 3D, we had to experience everybody else's drama too. It was always like, vomit on us, and we had to experience it. We don't have to anymore. What has happened is that there's a quickening, and our aura is now creating this bubble around us for protection. And the more that we become empowered, the more that our DNA is opening up to this 12-12 strand, the more that this jello like etheric bubble of protection is coming around us. So if somebody is around me and they have a bad thought or they're doing something stupid that they shouldn't be doing, it will not affect me. It doesn't affect me emotionally. It doesn't affect me anyway. It's their garbage and only their garbage, and it will be reflected back on them. So in the old world, people used to be able to just affect your reality by giving you a bunch of drama, problems, bad this, bad that, manipulation. It doesn't happen anymore. The boomerang is happening. We're like the Michelin tire boy here. We've got this protection. And if the individual wants to inflict something, some drama, some bad mood on us, what happens is it bounces off us and goes to them. That's the boomerang. That's where we're at now. So now we can see it. And I want to talk about just another minute about the separation of the worlds. Okay. So what we're seeing now is the separation between you and your old world. We're seeing the separation from your 3D self and into your 5D self. And this is so fun to watch because in the old world, we used to deal with things of drama and that nature, anger, all that. But now we're experiencing joy and we're getting uplifted and we're being supported and we're being loved and we're being guided into learning these different things, whether you're gardening, water purification, or whatever you're into, right? You're growing, you're preserving food, you're making your own soap. Wahoo. Well, when you turn around and you talk to those old people that you used to talk to, and they're still buying toxic chemical stuff, and now they've got all these rashes and their skin's flaking off and they've got all these problems. You're not experiencing that because you're making your own soap and you're nurturing your skin with all these beautiful oils and you're actually looking younger and more vibrant. So the more that you keep doing this with other aspects of your life, the more that you keep pulling away from these 3D people, and the less in common you're going to have with them. And then it comes to a point where it's almost grueling to have to talk to them about anything, because when you try to have a conversation, you can't. You're put into a ditch, and you're only allowed to talk about one or two things, because if you go over their head, you threaten them, and now they hate your guts and they're going to have to spew on you. And it's just something that you don't want to deal with. You don't want to hear their drama. So we end up just cutting our conversation short. We stay in the little pond of conversation that they let us communicate with, and then we quickly leave. Well, then as we keep growing and we're going to college now, and we're taking these new online classes, or we're joining these clubs that allow us to exchange seeds or whatever we're doing, we're looking into heirloom seeds, we're learning how to diffuse our own oils, you are going to lose complete touch with those other old people from the 3D world. And eventually, you won't know what happened to them, where they go, what they do. You don't know. But the phoenix will rise. And what happens is that you are going to wake up someday, and you're going to see it. You were that phoenix that was in the ashes. And as all this ash is around you, you're going to see this beautiful bird come up out of the ashes. And that's you. And you created it. You're in charge of it. And that is your I am, your Christos. And you did it all by yourself. So bravo. And I want to encourage all of you guys, keep going. It's hard. It's hard as crap. Your body is changing, your ideologies are changing, you get frustrated, people will cry for no reason, but you're letting go of that old world. And now we're walking into this new reality, and you're coming with tools now. You're coming with new tools to set your seeds and now begin your new world. So congratulations. I'm really proud of all of you guys, and I can't wait for the next session. What do you say, Tom?
I'm excited to see what's in front of us. I can't wait either.
This is going to be great. So this thickening that's happening is part of the ascension process as well. As your body is growing and changing and altering, more Palladian style and not 3D style, you're not earthling anymore. Your body is transforming into a 5D Palladian body. As that happens, what comes with it automatically is this new aura. So it's really important to pay attention to your chakras, the energies around you, the foods that you eat. You want to look and mirror your chakra system, colors with the foods that you're eating, because that vibration will help those chakras. Keep them all aligned, keep them nice and healthy with color foods, and you will experience a really strong aura that's around you. And when that happens, people are going to get to where they can't be around you if they don't have your highest interest at heart. If somebody comes around you, it's almost like a dog, where they will sense it and then they'll just leave. It's like, oh crap, I can't mess with her. So you're becoming a Great Dane, and they're like a little Chihuahua, and they're going to come up to you and they're going to be like, oh, hell no. And they're going to want to go. Okay. Don't be surprised at this, and don't think that you've got BO or something. Just realize it's your I am growing, it's your Christo and your violet flame that's ignited, that's now contributed to this Merkaba that's growing this beautiful protection layer over you. So with that, I want to say thanks for listening to another episode here at Spiritual Light Workers, the Quantum Shift Show. And we enjoy you guys very much. And until next time.
Bye, and thanks for joining us.
As today's journey through the quantum shift concludes, remember that our voyage into 5D wonderment and magic continues. With George, our galactic guide, and the guidance of the archangels, we're unlocking new realms of wisdom and mastery. Thank you for joining Dr. Sam Mugzzi and Digital Tom on this enlightening path. Keep your parachute ready for our next leap into the unknown as we explore the vastness of spiritual awakening. Until we meet again, keep your gaze on the stars and your heart open to the universe's endless possibilities. Farewell, and see you next time on The Quantum Shift.